Today, I will show you some unknown secrets in Japan. The Emperor of Japan is neither Zhu Fu nor Wu Dalong. What is the age of his descendants? What is his surname? Let's uncover it today. Any ancient tomb suspected to be an imperial mausoleum found in Japan will be sealed in the palace and archaeological excavations will be prohibited. Although there is a ban, it still can't stand the arrears of many archaeologists and continue to publish their own archaeological excavation reports. Japanese history books can be tampered with, but the remains unearthed underground are not so easy to fake. After the Meiji Restoration in Japan, Western legislation was adopted to change the previous Spring Festival to the 1st of January of the solar calendar, the Dragon Boat Festival to the 5th of May of the solar calendar, and began to fabricate a lot of history. For example, they forged the so-called first generation of emperor, the succession of Emperor Shenwu, and the year to imitate the memorial. Like Christ, I don't know who it was. As soon as they patted their forehead, they said that it was 660 BC, and they also carried out a lot of publicity for this reason. Some weapons in World War II are even based on this absurd commemoration. For example, Japan's Type 97 tank was named after its development in Shenwu in 597. In fact, in 1937, when the full-scale invasion of China began, the upper class of Japan fabricated so much. Is it convincing? Even Japan's own archaeologists don't believe them. According to archaeological evidence, Japan was divided into two stages in the BC period. One called the Shenwan era and the other called the Yayoi era. As the name implies, the Shenwan era is the Neolithic age of Japan. Usually in the 300 BC, the Japanese in the Shenwan era are called Shenwan people. They are all South Pacific races and are called Ainu people. Previously, it was distributed all over Japan, but later it was killed by the Yayoi people to the remote and cold Hokkaido. If Shenwu really lived in that period, he would definitely drink blood in Rumao, and you can see a fake badge. The era of people's livelihood is the era that began more than 300 BC. During this period, a large number of exquisite bronzes and jades suddenly appeared in the Japanese islands, as well as the currency from the state of Yan during the Warring States period. Many weapons were exactly the same as those unearthed in Liaodong, China. As we all know, the Tsushima Strait between the Korean peninsula and Japan's Kyushu Island is only 41 kilometers narrow, and sailboats can reach it in a few hours. And what is the reason why these people want to cross from the Korean peninsula to the Japanese islands? More than 300 years ago, it was the Warring States period of China. And the 7 heroes of the Warring States period constantly annexed the surrounding small countries to increase their power. The state of Yan in the north successively promoted many vassal states with Sun surnames, such as the state of Guzhou and the kingdom of Lingzhi, and threatened the largest vassal state of the north at that time, Jizi, North Korea. North Korea was established by Jizi, the uncle of King Zhao of Shang, in Liaoning and the northern part of the Korean peninsula at the end of the Shang dynasty. At the end of the last century, Chinese archaeologists successively unearthed a large number of bronzeware from the rear tripod in the late Shang dynasty in Liaoning, proving the existence of the vassal states of Jizi Korea. That is to say, the first Yayoi people who landed in Japan are most likely to cross the sea by the people of Yoshiko or the small vassals who were destroyed by the state of Yan, and almost all of these countries are the descendants of Yin merchants. Therefore, the Japanese will certainly have the typical cultural characteristics of Yin merchants. Let's take a look at the clothes of Yin merchants first. According to Zhao Li, Yin people are still white, while Zhao people are still red. Yin people wear white for weddings and funerals. The Japanese bride's dress is called white. In ancient Japan, important ceremonies were worn in white, while in Japan, like South Korea, white cutlets were worn during the Spring Festival. Let's take a look at Japanese hats. According to ancient Chinese books, Yin people wear jiangfu on their heads. What is jiangfu? It is a high hat shaped like an axe. Look at the clothes of Japanese priests. Wear jiangfu on their heads, hold a pestle, and step on cocks, and they often use oracle bones for divination, with a strong smell of yin shang. And look at Japanese hairstyles. According to the records of the Three Kingdoms, the Japanese have broken hair and tattoos, and yin merchants also tattooed, shaved their hair, and combed their braids. They looked at the jade hairstyle of the women's tomb and the hairstyle of the Sangsingdu bronze statue. It is said in the poem that the blackbird of heaven came down and gave birth to the merchant. It is said that Jayandi, the concubine of the emperor's beast, after eating the blackbird egg, gave birth to the ancestor of the yin merchant. Therefore, what the yin people admire most is the blackbird. Look at the bronze ware of the Shang dynasty. There is always a bird at the top, and the blackbird is the three-legged crow in the sun. Let's look at the Japanese. The crow's attitude is clear at a glance. Legend has it that he once led Emperor Shenwu to conquer Japan, and the three-legged crow in the sun has an irreplaceable position in Japan. This is the reason for changing the name of the country from Japan to Japan in the Tang dynasty. Even the logo of the Japanese national team is Zuoneo, and the logo of some departments of the Japanese Self-Defense Force is also Zuoneo, and the best proof of the identity of the Japanese emperor is his surname. In the pre-Qin dynasty, the woman's surname is easy to distinguish. The woman put the last name in the back, and the last word of the name is her surname, such as Yuji's surname is Ji, Bao Si's surname is Si, Wen Ying's surname is Ying, and Confucius hates women most. The wife of Wei Linggong is Nanzi, the princess of the state of Song. The state of Song is the patriarch of Yin Shang. The suzerain of the surname is the suzerain. Its princesses are all called a certain son or a certain son. Coincidentally, the daughters of the emperors of Japan are all called a certain son, or a certain son. Before the Meiji Restoration, the daughter of a civilian was forbidden to be called a certain son. The ban was lifted after the Meiji Restoration. Obviously, the Emperor of Japan is a child. The earliest main ethnic group of the Japanese Yayoi people was the Yin people from northern China during the Warring States period. Many people will definitely ask, what is the relationship between Japan and the Qin people? In fact, it has a lot to do with it. If you want to know more about the unknown secrets of Japan, remember to pay attention. Favorites, subscriptions.